YouTube. Let's see if it comes up. All right, what are we speaking on today? This music is vibes. Why? Thank you. This is my startup music. You can't just play any and everything at the startup. You know, you have to get in the mood, and this is my moody startup music. Over on YouTube, if you all are already there, just making sure this, you know, everything has to give a little trouble at the beginning before we start. All right, and we're good. We're good. That's lo-fi music. The topic is crime on the streets, and I wish you would play music all through the live. Not gonna lie. That's an idea. That's an idea. And yes, it's kind of lo-fi style. I like the lo-fi. Something about the lo-fi, you know, just builds the vibe. Just builds the vibe. All right. I'll make sure I have up my YouTube to see exactly how my YouTube chat is going also. Hopefully on YouTube we'd be moving and streaming a lot smoother than the last time, because I upgraded some stuff. One of my moderators gave me some, you know, internet advice, and I'm trying it. And hopefully, I'd be seeing some better streaming happening over on YouTube, and that have police shoot out someone today. Wow! No, we ain't reached the 10K likes, Baba Love Mama. You're gassing me up. We ain't reached the 10K yet. You got me very excited there in the short time. I was wondering if we hit that 10K so quick. Right. Good. The YouTube is up and running. Not a lot smoother than before, but somewhat. All right. Well, I'm seeing 6.7K, I guess. Wow. Wow, that sped up much faster than I was seeing. That sped up faster than I was seeing. All right. What we're starting off talking about is the chaos on our highways. Some real chaos played off on the highways for today, and we'd start off with the one that everyone seems to be very interested in. We're talking about the shootout that went on. The shootout that went on the Solomon Hochoy Highway on the northbound to the southbound lane. A guy was hightailing it out of there. Highway sprint ends in death for suspect car thief. That's unfortunate. Now, I'm not sure, even after I read the entire article, I wasn't sure if the one who died was the one who was the sprinter, because that would be kind of a waste of great athleticism in our country. It may be. What's up, blessed night to you, Sea Sky Nature over on YouTube. That may be a waste of a good sprinter, but I hope it's not him. Okay, let me not. A suspected car thief was killed and another at large after a police chase along the Solomon Hochoy Highway on Monday. The suspected car thief was pronounced dead at the Couva Hospital, while police officers combed the bushes bordering the highway for the second suspect. Traffic came to a standstill on both lanes of the highway. Motorists and passengers witnessed the pursuit and gunfire exchange between police officers and the two suspected car thieves. Many motorists and their passengers captured and shared camera videos on social media of armed police officers in hot pursuit of the suspects. One who was seen running along the shoulder of the southbound lane of the highway near the Couva Hospital. The sprinter is the one who got away. Listen. I don't even know how to respond to such news. I don't know how to respond to such news. The sprinter was the one who escaped. Well, I'll put it this way: I am not very, I'm not very surprised because I mean he was doing some numbers on his way out of there, and apparently he got away. But even still, I find that kind of suspicious that he got away because he was running on a straight highway. Somebody could have jumped in a vehicle and chased him down and caught him at some point in time. I think he could have been caught, but some of those officers aren't very fit anymore, unfortunately. And it seems like that fitness may actually be affecting their comorbidities, as I believe it's 29 officers currently have unfortunately passed from the COVID-19 virus. And we know that kind of unfit side of things is a bit of a comorbidity when it comes to that. But that wasn't the only insanity that went on our highways, Nathan. That's the TTPS for you. Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, that wasn't the only insanity on the highways, though. That was the the minor bit. Further than that, the Beetham residents had some problems. The Beetham residents had some problems, and they did what they usually do. And listen. I understand why many people would be very, very angry with the Beetham residents and what they very often get around to do. I understand why people would be very angry. It's understandable, but I also understand why the Beetham residents do it at the same time. If I am one of the most forgotten communities in the country, a bulletproof vest is heavy and so is a semi-automatic gun. Try running with that. I saw some people saying that. So to be fair to the police, yes, I should mention this. The bulletproof vest plus the gun plus the tactical wear plus the tactical boot that they wear. Yes, that is a bit heavy and that is a bit difficult. Maybe we could employ a tracksuit version of the of the police. Like, I don't know how many of you played strategy games in your time where you have your different level of troops, and we need a scout police troop who would be a little in a bit lighter wear. So when we see that bandit going, we release the scout police. And okay, probably too many strategy games in my time, but that wasn't the only. Training and fitness is key. Yes, it is. And even with the added gear, what that suggests is that we do need to increase the training and fitness even with the added gear. And I believe that can be done. I don't think that is out of the realm of possibility. Even with the gear, that they would be able to be fit and moving quickly with it. Right. But the Beetham residents now. That's not what the traffic warden's for. You're not going to send a traffic warden to chase down an armed suspect running down the highway. Listen, our traffic wardens are armed with, I believe, ticket books, and they have one of those kind of checkboards. You don't send them chasing armed suspects. That's no. We won't do that. That chances are won't end well. I've seen some traffic wardens in the middle of cities struck in their direct purview where they're supposed to be giving people tickets, and some people giving them a very hard time even to get the tickets. So I don't think chasing armed criminals down the highway is a good way. The police service doesn't cater for officers being allowed physical training during their hour. Seeing as many people are excited to talk about this still, before we even dive in too much into the Beetham thing, the training bit, as I said many times, I like to pay attention to some international news. And many of the times when you see the problems in the United States with their police officers, etc., one of the main problems you hear people in the know express is that what actually it needs is more training for police officers. And I think the kind of job that we expect police to do requires a lot more training, a lot more specialization, and a lot better pay, really and truly. Because what you're if you want a police to really do well, you're expecting an athlete, But then you're expecting a partial therapist because this police is going to also be dealing with people at critical times in their lives. So this person already needs to be qualified in two areas. You need to be at least an amateur level athlete. You know, you could run a 400 meters in a certain amount of time. And then you need to have a little bit of that therapist in you. So we need to run you through a few basic psychology courses, and a little human sociology, so understand certain concepts. And then you need to be at least a little paralegal because you're working within a legal framework. You can't just run out there and do things outside of the law. You're there to uphold the law. If you have to uphold the law, then you need to know it. So you see, you're asking a lot from we are. So I do admit that much to the police officers. There is a lot being asked of police officers, and some of it just may not be possible. Some of it literally may not be feasible, what is being required of police officers. Okay. Licks for Hines as Beetham residents block highway again. Residents of the Beetham Gardens community took to the streets early this morning to block the highway and priority bus route with burning debris. The reason for the protest? Delays by the state to fix sewage lines in the area. I have a video here showing those sewage lines that are disrupted and showing the amount of sewage water flowing through the streets. Now, if the YouTube live was running smooth, I may have played it there, but that kind of doesn't make any sense. So just imagine it's this, the watery bit of the sewage is bubbling up through manholes and is bubbling up through manholes and running down your street. Listen, but if they want help, they cannot be conducting the attitude for help though. I understand that sentiment. I understand that. But according to them, it's 6 months. 6 months. If you've been waiting 6 months, and for 6 months on end, sewage is running through your streets, and according to them, they contacted the Minister of Public Utilities. They attempted to contact their own MP. No help. If that is the case, listen, I'm just letting you all know. If I have live sewage running through my streets, day in, day out for 6 months, and no one is helping me, I'm going to start to feel to burn down the highway too. I'm just saying. And if you all looked at the contemplation I did today with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s statement and quote, their MP is one Fitzgerald Hines, the Minister of National Security. The one that they dashed some water on him. Maybe, listen, I am not advocating violence or negative conduct towards our elected members of parliament. But I'm just saying that if the kind of water that is being allowed to run in the streets of Beetham is dashed again on the honored Minister of National Security, their MP, I'm sure there may be some quicker results, because it is ridiculous. Listen, I have full understanding with people. It's frustrating, the idea that whenever these people get vexed, and if you're not a resident of Beetham especially, all you have to do is go and work in Port of Spain. And worse yet, if you're from South or Central, you're in that traffic from 5:30 possibly minutes to 6. You're there in that traffic. All you're trying to do is get to work. All you want to do is get to work. And the dump done smelling stink, you ain't looking to stay here so long. Okay, understandable. But imagine for the people living there. And if you cannot get the air of the leadership any other way, I'm telling you, if I was living there, and this seems to be my trump card, I am a down-pressed. Why they vote him back? They clearly don't like this man. Good question and good point. That's the problem with safe seats. But if you're living there and you're one of the forgotten communities in Trinidad, you just so happen to have this trump card in your pocket that your community spans the 3 major entry points into the capital city. If they want, and they have done it before, they can block the eastbound, the westbound, the bus route, and the main road. And somebody was speaking about how efficiently they do it over at in the Beatum. And you must admit, you don't really. Good night, Ms. K. Mali. You're supposed to be a first class country by now. You must admit, when you look at how the Beatum residents do their thing, nobody really knows beforehand. You only know when you pull up on the highway and see that extra set of traffic right before Port of Spain. You're like, okay, the residents are doing some negotiation. So they have it. They have the silence down pat. They catch you by surprise. Those guys could do surprise birthday parties over there. They have good teamwork. You have to give it to them on that. They organize this thing. The people drop the debris in the highway. They light the fire, and the people who do the dropping and the lighting, they don't disappear and enter into the community again. And now you send out the elders and the ladies to go and make the point. You can't send out the young men who put the trash and light it, because then the police might lock them up. So you send out the elders and the ladies. And they come out now to actually make the point and try and speak and be reasonable, etc., etc. The elders that making the point, I could tell you, they were not the ones that drag a fridge over the highway and catch it afire. No, that was very likely some young men. But you must admire to some extent the cohesiveness as a community to pull off some of these things. And they regularly catch them by surprise. I could tell you, I am sure if the authorities could have predicted when it was going to happen, they would have stopped it. The fact that it happens, good night, sir, good to see you, love hearing you. Thanks very much, unknown boy. And the fact that it happens proves that these guys know what they're doing in terms of sneaking it up. I saw someone mention Vietnam War inside of there, and I'm not sure the full context of it, but that is actually a good point to show you how even in places where people may not be at the cutting edge of modernity and have all the technology benefits and money on their side, when you're talking about a cohesive community in their home area, it's a hard battle to win. Impossible in some cases. More fire on the government too. All right. For months now, the infrastructure in the community has been broken. The area has been smelling of feces day and night. We are living in this toxicity. It is unbearable. We have tried to get WASA attention, no luck. We tried to get the Minister of Public Utilities, no luck. We even tried to reach that MP of ours, Mr. Hines, but as usual, nothing was done. He couldn't be bothered. So what other choice do we have? We have to get your attention somehow. It's women, children, and old people living here. Just because we are poorer than you or live in a community that you might not think the best of, do you think we can be treated anyhow? That is not right. And this is all we are trying to do. Get their attention so that work can be completed. One resident who gave his name as Ishmael explained. That seems to be a coherent explanation to me. It seems to be a coherent explanation. And in that light, I could understand also why there weren't any... Message me for the Mindful t-shirts. I could understand why there weren't any arrests made. Why would you do that in a case like that? It would just inflame the situation. And someone was speaking about the voting and the government not caring about anything other than the vote. And in fact, that area is a government run area. The government wins that area continually. But that may be very well the problem. If you look very often, it's so strange. Very often the safest of seats are so often in some of the poorest communities. Some of the poorer communities are some of the communities who most consistently vote for the same people. Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? It could nearly seem like there could be vested interest in keeping some communities in a certain way because it allows to keep the votes going a certain way. That could nearly be the conspiratorial side of it, but who knows? Maybe it's not, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the way things happen to be. because the parties don't fight for them. Safe seats are safe, and that's why they are neglected. And I agree. I think if you're in this country, one of the things you should be aiming best at, most at, is making sure whichever seat you reside in isn't a safe seat. Isn't a safe seat for anyone. The problem in the BTHM, though, the problem that they're expressing, the main problem, at least the cause of the main problem, according to what they're saying, the cause is WASA.